Welcome to Baker Street. This is a bonus track from episode 17. I hope you're having a great summer or winter if you're down under, like one of my good friends, whom I was happy enough to have a conversation with yesterday about traveling to Australia this fall around Thanksgiving to have some adventures there and meet with some of my colleagues in the Explorers Club. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for your communications, your emails, and your support. The numbers are really good, and that, as we know, is not really what I am doing this for. I'm doing this to share ideas. And as a member of the Explorers Club, there are a lot of people right at my fingertips who I could interview and talk to about their efforts to save the oceans or save a species from extinction. And so today, I'm going to move back into that direction, but it's going to be about a young man that I met at a football game. And he was on the same team as my son, Sam. And it was this football game called the Maple Sugar Shrine Bowl. And it's put on every year. This was the 66th year where All-Stars from New Hampshire play against All-Stars from Vermont. And all the proceeds benefit the Shriners Hospitals. And if you don't know what the Shriners Hospitals are, they are hospitals throughout the United States that do services, work on children, whether a child might have need something done with their legs or bone structure or a curvature of the spine or even a cleft lip or cleft palate. And everything that they do is done for free. So people don't have to pay to use these hospitals. And in this day and age, that's pretty amazing. And so my son was chosen to play at the Maple Sugar Shrine Bowl this year at Castleton University. And my son was a senior at Kennett High School. And he also went there with another player from his team named Cole Sweeney, really great football player. And both of them, as it would turn out, had a dramatic impact in the outcome of the game. And the New Hampshire All-Stars beat the Vermont All-Stars 21-9. That is not really why I'm here. I'm not gloating or celebrating necessarily that their victory took place, but that they took part in this bowl at all was the remarkable thing. And when I got there, I had a conversation with my son. They spent the whole week practicing in Castleton University at their football facility. And my son pointed to this football player at the banquet the night before the game, and he said, "See that guy? His nickname is Smiley. Everybody calls him Smiley. He's the coolest guy." And I thought, wow, that's really neat. I'll have to just go say hello to him. And then about 10 minutes later at the banquet, there was an announcement, and they asked Smiley to stand up. And the gentleman's name is Nathaniel Tejeda. And I learned at that moment that this young man, a senior in high school, had been undergoing chemotherapy. And every night, instead of after 3 practices per day with his team, he would go home with his parents who lived down in Nashua, New Hampshire, and then in the morning would have radiation for his cancer. And then he would get back and go back and practice and play with the team. And then he competed in the game. And boy, that just knocked me to my core, because there was nothing but joy and happiness coming out of this young man. And so it was sometime back in March that Smiley, Nathaniel, had been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, cancer of the lymphatic system, which many of you at least are vaguely aware of, if not having had your own experience with it. And he just exuded this positivity, this joy in life and participating in all good things, and it underscored to me how people are always feel the need to feel so sorry for people who are going through hardships. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're sick or you have cancer, and that would be the last thing in the world that he would ever want to hear from somebody, because there's a pity element to that. Nobody wants to be pitied for going through something, whether it's losing a parent or a loved one, or losing a job, or having there be an accident or something like that. There's something kind of off kilter with that pity element, and I made it my intent. That moment, I was like, I am going to find this young man and see if I can ask him a question. And so I'm showing you some pictures of the game, mostly of my son and his friend Cole, and then some of the kids that they were with during the game, and a couple of game pictures. I only had a wide-angle lens, and I shot off my phone. But I at the end of the game, all the parents and family and friends were allowed to go out onto the field, and that was my chance. And I went up and I introduced myself to Nathaniel, to Smiley, and I asked him a couple of questions, and I want to share those with you right now, because it brought a great smile to my face. And I asked him if I could share it with my listeners and viewers on Baker Street, and he said, absolutely, please do. Meet Nathaniel Smiley Tejeda. Yeah. So give me in a nutshell, tell me who you are and what you had to do this week in order to get through the week.
My name is Nathaniel Tejeda, also known as Smiley, and I just have to travel back and forth, doing my thing with radiation, just making the best out of all my whatever I can. Back and forth, just living it up, living the dream.
So that's a lot of work. So you're so committed. What is it? What drives you to do it? What drives you to be coming back and doing this? Obviously, you love the sport, but it's got to be the team and the kids.
Oh, it's a great team. Like everything that we're here for, like it's just been a great experience. Getting to know the kids and even the Shriners and the team and everything. It's just, I love the whole entire experience.
Awesome. What's the future for you? What do you got next year? And what are you doing?
I will be going to Springfield College, and studying exercise science, and I will be wrestling there.
No doubt. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So last thing, where are you from? Like what town? You played football all 4 years?
Yeah.
Nashville?
Started varsity sophomore, junior, senior year at Nashville South. So.
All right. So let me ask you now, last thing, I'm going to let you go because your parents are like, all right, we got a long drive ahead of us. If somebody met you or saw you last night and heard your story, and there was someone who was just lacking inspiration, if you had any words of advice for someone who's just like lacking their get up and go, feeling sorry for themselves, what would you say?
Just keep moving on. There's always kids in worse situations than you. You got to look at the best part of it. Just keep your head up and keep a smile on your face, because there's no point in staying sad over all this, whatever's going on in your life. You know what I mean?
Right on. Right on. What a wonderful young man who has made a lasting impact on me, and he also made a lasting impact on my son and all the players that he played with. And I looked him up on Instagram and followed him, and in one of his posts he says, all I can ask of others is that you continue being you. This cancer is just a little bump in the road. What a good guy, what a wonderful young man, something that will inspire me, and I will certainly keep you updated on his progress as he makes his way to Springfield College, right near where I grew up, and hopefully we can stay in touch with him and get him back on here sometime this fall and see how he's doing. Anyway, I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to me and watch me on Baker Street with Thom Pollard. If you want to be added to my mailing list, please go to eyesopenproductions.com and click on contact, and you have to fill out a very short form. Let me know the email address you'd like me to reach you, and I will send you periodic updates, usually only when a new podcast is out, a new episode. Also, I'm really happy to hear your ideas and your thoughts, and hope that you'll feel free to share this podcast with your friends and family. And remember, we create our reality with the thoughts that we empower. And a young man like Smiley Tejeda is living exactly that truth. He doesn't take his hardships and get down in the dumps and feel sorry for himself. He actually takes it and uses it to make other people feel good and understand that possibility in ourselves. So thank you, Smiley, for being a part of Baker Street. We will keep in touch with you, and for you listeners and viewers out there, I look forward to hearing from you. Touch base often, and I will see you real soon.